Admiral Zexthara's four eyes tracked the holographic display with growing unease. The human fleet had just executed another impossible maneuver, one that defied every tactical doctrine in the Galactic War College's databases. Where any sensible species would have retreated after losing 30% of their forces, the humans had somehow turned their casualties into an advantage. "They're doing it again," muttered Commander Vorth, his chitinous fingers clicking nervously against his console. "Using their destroyed ships as decoys while the real attack comes from—" "Where exactly?" The answer materialized as 17 human corvettes emerged from hyperspace, directly behind the hegemony's flagship formation. It should have been impossible. The gravitational interference from 3 nearby gas giants made such precise calculations a nightmare of quantum mechanics and spatial distortion. Yet there they were, weapons already charging. Zexthara had been fighting wars for over 2 centuries. She'd conquered 17 star systems and reduced 3 rebellious colonies to radioactive dust. She understood war. It was about resources, territory, and the systematic application of overwhelming force. It was brutal, yes, but logical. Predictable. Humans treated it like a game. "Sir, we're receiving another transmission from the human commander," reported the communications officer. "Put it through." Admiral Sarah Chen's face appeared on the screen, looking remarkably relaxed for someone whose species faced extinction. The Terran Confederation had been outnumbered 50-1 when the hegemony declared war 6 months ago. By all rational calculations, Earth should have surrendered within weeks. "Admiral Zexthara," Chen said with what humans called a smile. A bizarre facial expression that somehow managed to be both friendly and predatory. "I trust you're enjoying our little chess match?" "Chess?" Zexthara had looked up the term after their first encounter. It was a human strategic game involving moving small pieces across a checkered board, according to arbitrary rules. The humans had dozens of such games: Go, poker, Risk, StarCraft, all different methods of exercising their obsession with pattern recognition and strategic thinking. "This is war, human, not recreation," Zexthara replied. "Is it, though?" Chen tilted her head, another peculiar human gesture. "From our perspective, you've presented us with a fascinating optimization problem. Limited resources, asymmetric forces, multiple variables including gravitational mechanics, supply chain logistics, and psychological warfare. We've been having quite a lot of fun with it." "Fun?" The translator struggled with the concept. The closest equivalent in Zexthara's language meant satisfactory completion of nutritional requirements. "Your fun has cost you millions of lives," Zexthara pointed out. "Every puzzle has a price," Chen acknowledged. "But we're remarkably good at finding elegant solutions. For instance, did you know that your fleet movements follow a perfect Fibonacci sequence? Very predictable once we mapped the pattern. My tactical AI had you figured out 3 engagements ago." Zexthara felt her secondary heart skip a beat. The Fibonacci sequence was a mathematical progression that appeared throughout nature: spiral galaxies, shell formations, even the breeding patterns of certain species. But military tactics? Impossible. We use the Korthak doctrine, developed over millennia of— "Oh, the doctrine is brilliant," Chen interrupted. "Mathematically speaking, it's beautiful, but it follows natural patterns, which means it's ultimately predictable to a species that loves solving puzzles. We've been reverse engineering your entire strategic philosophy, while simultaneously developing 17 different counter-strategies." The human commander gestured, and her own holographic display appeared, showing a 3-dimensional map of the battlefield. Red dots represented hegemony forces, blue dots showed human positions. But there were also green dots, lots of them, in positions where no ships should be. "What are those?" Zexthara demanded. "Mining drones," Chen replied cheerfully. "We've spent the last month hollowing out several asteroids in this system, while you were focused on our main fleet. Filled them with fusion charges. Crude but effective. Think of it as rearranging the playing field." Zexthara's tactical display erupted in warnings as her sensors finally detected what had been hiding in plain sight. Dozens of asteroids throughout the system were accelerating, their trajectories calculated to intersect with hegemony fleet positions in precisely 17 minutes. "You're insane," she whispered. "We prefer creative," Chen corrected. "Your species approaches war like mathematics, rigid formulas and proven theorems. We approach it like jazz improvisation. You can't predict jazz. This will accomplish nothing. Zexathara's voice rose. Even if you destroy my fleet, the hegemony has thousands more. You cannot win through tricks and puzzles. Chen's smile widened. Admiral, you still don't understand. We already won. The transmission ended. And Zexathara's confusion lasted exactly 4 seconds before her intelligence officer's voice cut through the bridge noise. Sir, we're detecting massive hyperspace signatures throughout hegemony space. Every major shipyard, every military installation, every command center, they're all under simultaneous attack. Impossible. Where do they find the forces? Our intelligence showed... Sir, the officer continued shakily, the attacking ships, they're all flying hegemony IFF codes. Zexathara's mind reeled. In the span of 6 months, while her attention was focused on this single human fleet, they had somehow infiltrated, converted, or constructed an armada using hegemony technology. They had turned the Empire's own ships into weapons against it. Another transmission arrived, this time from the human homeworld. A different face appeared, an elderly human male with white hair and eyes that sparkled with unmistakable amusement. Greetings, Admiral. I'm Dr. Marcus Webb, Earth's Minister of Puzzle Solving. Defense. I wanted to personally thank you for providing such an intellectually stimulating challenge. My grandson was getting quite bored with his video games. Behind Dr. Webb, Zexathara could see what appeared to be a vast room filled with young humans sitting at consoles, manipulating complex displays with the casual concentration of children playing games. Your war, Webb continued, has been the ultimate crowdsourced strategy game. We've had our best minds and our most enthusiastic gamers working around the clock to solve the hegemony problem. Turns out, when you treat galactic warfare as a massive multiplayer puzzle, humans get very creative very quickly. The transmission ended, leaving Zexathara staring at the tactical display as hegemony strongholds winked out one by one across the galaxy. In the distance, the weaponized asteroids continued their inexorable approach. For the first time in her long military career, Admiral Zexathara understood that she hadn't been fighting a war at all. She had been a piece in a game whose rules she never understood, played by a species that found joy in the impossible, and treated the destruction of galactic empires as merely another interesting problem to solve. As her flagship's hull began to buckle under the mining charges embedded in the approaching asteroid, Zexathara's last thought was a grudging admission. Humans were terrifyingly good at puzzles.